So I'm going to talk about flexible dieting today. So what is flexible dieting and is it for you? So first up, flexible dieting is actually based on rigid parameters. You've got great flexibility within the confines of a rigid structure, which is hitting your macros. So for those that don't know, flexible dieting essentially is that you have a total calorie goal for the day, and then that's broken down into your protein, carbs, and fats. Now, if you hit your protein, carbs, and fats accurately, it takes care of your calories for the day. So in that respect, it's similar to many other diets that they kind of have this framework, these rules you have to adhere to, and then you can do whatever you want within those rules. It's very similar in that respect. For example, to a paleo diet, and as much as with paleo, you can eat as much as you want as long as it's deemed paleo. So essentially, unprocessed whole foods, or on a low carb plan, you can eat whatever proteins and fats you like, just as long as you're not eating carbs. Essentially, these all work for the same reason, and that fundamental reason is calorie deficit if you're losing weight, or calorie surplus if you're trying to gain weight. Assuming that you're getting the desired results, it's possible following these diets that you follow a paleo or a low carb diet and you completely overdo the protein and fats, and you are in a surplus when you're actually trying to lose weight. And that's where flexible dieting has a huge advantage. So it has these rigid structures. It's not just you can eat whatever the hell you feel about it, but the structure is based on a fundamental factor, and that's the calories are set. Calories are king when it comes to building muscle or losing fat. And then after that, macronutrients. So you have to hit your macros with flexible dieting, and then that takes care of calories. So by doing that, you've hit the two fundamental elements, the two key bases of the pyramid for success when it comes to food. Your hierarchy of needs when it comes to nutrition are built on total calories and then type of calories, so protein, carbs, fats. So if you get the ratios of protein, carbs, and fats right, that naturally takes care of your total calories, and you're onto a winner. Now, of course, the great thing about flexible dieting is it then allows you, once you've taken care of those two key elements, to eat whatever you feel like that fits into those, as long as so no food is good or bad. You just got to hit the right ratio of protein, carbs, and fats by eating the food you enjoy and fit into that, which is why it's so appealing to people. Now all of a sudden foods aren't dirty or clean; they're just food that they enjoy and can fit into their diet. Doesn't mean that you can just eat Pop-Tarts and peanut butter all day, because you've got to take care of your protein, carb, and fat needs sensibly, and actually hit the numbers. So eating donuts all day long while appealing, that sounds pretty good to me actually, isn't going to get you where you want to go, because you're not going to hit your protein number. Anyway, so flexible dieting gives you flexibility within those guidelines and takes care of the first two fundamental steps on the hierarchy of needs for nutrition. Well, actually, I suppose that's a lie. The first thing is adherence. Adherence is fundamental. Any diet is only as good as your ability to adhere to it, and that's where the great news, I suppose, for flexible dieting also comes in, because it allows you to eat the foods you enjoy, and means you're more likely to adhere to it. You don't have to, classify any food as just terrible and bad, and you can't have it ever. All foods are available to you with flexible dieting, just as assuming that they fit into your total calories for the day and your macros. So like I said, nothing's dirty or clean with food anymore, or good or bad. So with flexible dieting, I suppose the fundamental thing is it allows you to avoid majoring in the minors. So you're not worrying about nutrient timing, or is one food good or bad, or is there this special superfood that's going to get you ripped and lean and all this. It just gets you to focus on the basics. You hit your calories, you hit your macros. So now you kind of know what flexible dieting is and how it works. The question is it for you? So this isn't actually as simple as it may seem. From what I've said, you're probably thinking flexible dieting sounds really, really good. It's great for everyone. But that's not the case. The case is, I suppose, like anything, the answer to the question of is it for you is it depends. It depends on your knowledge of food. Some people, they have very little knowledge of food. They don't know what's a good source of protein, fat, or carbs, or what 100 grams of a certain food looks like. So on that basis, it's tough to do flexible dieting, because it requires you to be able to accurately track what you're consuming to hit your macros at the end of the day. So If you're unsure about that, then you might be actually better off getting a meal plan from some online or a coach, whatever, measuring your food out to hit the meal plan, and that will start to give you a gauge, so you become better at knowing, okay, this is what 250 grams of salmon looks like, and that's 125 grams of rice is this, and you weigh it out. So then you're better placed when you want to move towards flexible dieting to be able to accurately assess what you are what you are eating, because if no food's off limits, the concern is that you just eat as much as you want, and if you haven't got a concept of quantity of a certain food, well, it's very easy to overeat on the great tasting food that's available to all of us. So I would suggest you need to have a reasonable understanding of nutrition and be good at tracking it and be prepared to track it. Some people are interested in having to log it into MyFitnessPal. Now, in all fairness, apps like that make things so easy for you now. There's a barcode scanner, a huge food database. You can find almost any food in there, and it's very quick and easy to use just after a little bit of practice. But some people aren't up for that, not interested in having to log their food. Well, in that case, flexible dieting is just not going to work for you. You'll have closest you can do is eating intuitively, but that's going to also require a good understanding of your body and the quantities of food. So once you've got really good at tracking stuff in terms of weighing it, because some people are put off by that, I've got to weigh on my food, that's a huge effort. It doesn't take long before you're pretty good at ballparking it. You've got that visual representation of what certain quantities of food look like. So when you're out and about in a restaurant, eating at a friend's house, whatever, you can get a good estimation of what you've eaten, what you consumed, how many calories there were, and what the macros were. Now, that's the ideal. You can essentially go out, eat wherever and whenever you want, and you're eating leads you towards your goals. If, however, you're not confident in ballparking calories yet, then do as I suggested, get like a meal plan, follow that, build up your awareness of nutrition. And then the question is, I suppose, great, I'm comfortable tracking my calories, I have enough nutrition knowledge to know how much protein in chicken breast, etc., but how much should I be eating and what calories should I be having? Well, get yourself online, Google it if you want. There's plenty of calorie calculators out there. The If It Fits Your Macros, IIFYM website has one, pretty good. And actually on my website I've got a free muscle building one, which will give you your total calories for the day, the macros for training and non-training days, and it'll split up on a meal by meal basis. So if you prefer eating 3, 4, 5 or 6 meals a day, it'll break it down so you can know what to eat per meal. On top of that, it also gives you an indicator of how much weight should be gaining per week to be building muscle, and if you're not, then you need to make some adjustments. But so it's a pretty cool little tool to get you on the sweet spot for building muscle. So definitely check that out. That's at flatwhitesfreeweights.com/freebies. But there's loads of other calorie calculators out there. Get yourself one of those. Follow that. In no time you'll be confident tracking your food on MyFitnessPal, hitting your macros day in day out, and once you've been doing that, you're taking care of more than 80% of your results, right? From you can see this super advanced technical diet plan with nutrient timing and certain supplements and infinite detail. Well, 80%, probably more of your results are taken care of by hitting your calories and getting your daily macros in place. So do yourself a favour, make it easy, get those two things done day in, day out, and you're on to a winner. If anyone has any questions, then feel free to drop me a note. Email at tom@flatwhitesfreeweights.com or check me out on Instagram or Facebook. Alright guys, catch you another time. Bye.